There.
Just a touch, a little over, another inch.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Okay, can you move it up a
Does she
little
need
bit?
to be higher?
I do.
Higher? Okay.
Have to see my necklace.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
Maybe-
now I don't see my
maybe a
necklace.
step back.
Back. Ah,
There we go.
sorry.
How's that?
A little bit
Now
more.
you see
A little
less.
more? More?
A little bit more.
Now down.
Now down.
A little bit more. Little
We're getting
teeny,
there.
teeny bit more. Okay,
There we
this
go.
is good.
Lovely.
How's that?
Great.
Does that look good?
Really good.
A lot of makeup.
Yeah, it needs to be more.
I moved about 3 weeks ago out of my home and
Oh, wow.
into Andrea and David's basement. I bought a condo. It's getting rehabbed.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really
long will-
excited. What did you say?
How long will that take to get it all
A
remodeled?
long time, because nothing is available. You know, everything is back ordered, even a refrigerator, you
Oh
know?
my God.
So I should have thought about this before, but I'm hibernating like a bear.
Time of the year to just dig in.
What?
She needs
It's a good time of the year just to dig in.
It is good. It is a good time of the year to do the inside work.
Don't lean forward, Yeah.
Okay,
because then
okay. How's that? Am I sitting straight?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go sit up here, I think, because there's a.
Anybody on?
Do you want me to?
This is the first time I've been in the office for a long time. I came in to see you. Hi, everybody. So I'm on right now, correct? Hi, this is Joyce Romanoff from Skokie, Illinois. And I'm very thrilled that you all are here attending our CEU on the history of wall covering. And I know you will find it entertaining and interesting, and you'll even learn something. And of course, you'll get that necessary CEU credit. I'm very, very pleased to partner with Tom Hunter from Trammell Garnet. And he's here to tell you all about his showroom and what to expect with this CEU. So take it away, Tom.
Thank you very much, Joyce. We're so glad to have you here with us today doing the CEU presentation. I wanted to mention real quickly that anybody who does want the CEU credits, be sure and get your email address to us. Sarah Lacani is also on this presentation with us. She'll be monitoring the chat for questions and for your email addresses if you do want the CEU. Just make sure you get a hold of one of us and that we acknowledge you so that you do get the information that you need.
And
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and if you have any questions during it, chat away, and we'll answer those questions either after the CEU and when we do our studio tour. So stay tuned until after the CEU, because it's going to be fun to take you inside our handcrafted factory.
Perfect. One more thing about the digital market event for all of the presentations that you guys might be attending. Make sure that you sign up on Instagram and you follow design.salvation. It's a local couple of designers who have this really great blog, and they are monitoring all of the presentations. I'm not sure how they're doing this, but they're monitoring all of the presentations and participating in them. And they are raffling off some wonderful gifts that were donated by our vendors. Maya Romanoff has donated this wonderful artist apron that is tie-dyed, beautifully tie-dyed, with a book on Maya Romanoff and the history of the company, and a really cute Maya Romanoff tie-dyed mask. So please make sure that you sign up on their, or follow them on Instagram, design.salvation. And with that, I would love to turn the CEU over to Joyce. She is a veteran at this and gives one of the most wonderful, fun CEUs I've ever seen. And I'm so happy to have her here today. So Joyce, please teach us all. Oh, we can't hear you.
Thank you so much, Tom. And I have to say that working with Tom Hunter is my very favorite thing. He is one of the best professionals and loveliest human being this earth has ever seen. And, and it's important now to work with people that give you back the comfort and safety that you need to work in this environment. So thank you, Tom. And I hope you enjoy the CEU. And stay tuned until afterwards and when we do our studio tour. Take it away. I put stop. Thank you for attending the CEU presentation, The Evolution of Wallcovering. I am Joyce Romanoff, CEO of Maya Romanoff. I'm happy to have this opportunity to share with you my intimate knowledge of artisanal wall coverings. In this CEU, we will tackle their rich history and development and address the question, with all the modern methods of machine manufacturing, why do handmade wall coverings endure? The question that we are confronted with again and again is why we are attracted to handmade objects. There is a value and presence that draws us to objects thoughtfully created with human hands. For William Morris, a pioneer in the art of handmade wall coverings and textiles, this attraction became a radical manifesto, reinforcing our unique connection to quality. 69 with these same ideals. It has always been his mission to stay connected with the artisans who create in our studio and in our mills, to the designers who create environments, and to the material itself. The goal of Maya's designs is to balance the visual spontaneity of work of art with the ability to manufacture hundreds efficiently and consistently. Look at the evolution of wall covering. Around 4000 BC, the earliest known form of paper was introduced. Egyptian papyrus. Papyrus plant was long cultivated in the Nile region in Egypt.
Hey guys, I think that we're working on the sound. We know that the sound quality is quite bad and we're trying to get that remedied.
Maya, I would this is the Seattle Design Center, unmute yourself.
You want to use my
There you go. And then would go down to your options in the bottom left where your little microphone is. And I would select your sound system. And as microphone, I would either click same as system. Because what it sounds like is you have two forms of audio going. So from video and you, so we're getting playback. So I would go try and share your video again.
You need to select the sound from the video. Is this yours?
You guys see anything about this?
Want my iPad?
Thank you for attending the CU presentation, Evolution of Wallcovering. I enjoyed it.
Audio settings, what's up?
Thank you for attending the CU presentation, Evolution of Wallcovering. I am Joyce Romanoff, CEO of Romanoff. I'm happy to have this opportunity to share with you my intimate knowledge. In the CU, we will tackle their rich history and development and address the question with all the modern methods of machine manufacturing. The question that is why we are attracted to objects. There is a value and presence that draws us to objects artfully created with human hands. For William Morris, a pioneer in the art of handmade wallcovers and textiles, this attraction became rapidly manifest, reinforcing our connection to quality over quantity. Ron founded his company in 1969 with these same ideals. It has always been his mission to stay connected with the artisans who create in our studio and in our house, to the designers who create environments, and to the material itself. The role of Maya's designs is
It's not working. Yeah. Thank you for attending the CEU presentation, The Evolution of Wallcovering. I am Joyce Romanoff, CEO of Maya Romanoff. I'm happy to have this opportunity to share with you my intimate knowledge of artisanal wall coverings. In the CEU, we will tackle their rich history and development and address the question, with all the modern methods of machine manufacturing, why do handmade wall coverings endure? The question that we are confronted with again and again is why we are attracted to handmade objects. There is a value and presence that draws us to objects thoughtfully created with human hands.
For William Morris, a pioneer in the art of handmade wall coverings and textiles, this attraction became a radical manifesto, reinforcing our innate connection to quality over quantity. Maya founded his company in 1969 with these same ideals. It has always been his mission to stay connected with the artisans who create in our studio and in our mills, to the designers who create environments, and to the material itself. The goal of Maya's designs is to balance the visual spontaneity of a work of art with the ability to manufacture hundreds of rolls efficiently and consistently. With that, now let's look at the evolution of wall covering. Around 4000 BC, the earliest known form of paper was introduced, Egyptian papyrus. Papyrus plant was long cultivated in the Nile region in Egypt and was collected for its stalk or stem, with the central pith was cut into thin strips, pressed together and dried to form a smooth, thin writing surface. The word paper is derived from papyrus, ancient Greek for the cypress papyrus plant. The concept of wallpaper originated in China by gluing rice paper onto walls as early as 200 BC, and rice paper is still used today. Soon the Chinese began painting exquisite storytelling designs of birds and flowers, landscapes, known as chinoiserie, an example of a British pastiche of a Chinese bird and flower style circa 1740. This marks one of the earliest versions of chinoiserie-style wall covering, still very popular today. In 105 AD, a eunuch in the court of the Han Dynasty Emperor Sai Lun suggested creating paper out of tree bark, scraps of hemp, rags, and old fishnet. During the 8th century, Chinese paper making spread to the Islamic world, where pulp mills and paper mills were used for paper making and money making. By the 10th century, Arabians were substituting linen fibers for wood and bamboo, creating a finer sheet of paper. Paper now reached a much higher quality level. By the 11th century, paper making was brought to Europe, and by the 13th century, paper making was refined with paper mills utilizing water wheels in Spain. The earliest European pictorial block prints were religious souvenirs. The oldest known representation of the Virgin is dated 1418. It is now in the Royal Library at Brussels. Jean Bourdieu painted 50 rolls of paper with angels on a blue background for Louis XI of France in 1481. King Louis ordered the portable framed wallpaper because he found it necessary when moving frequently from castle to castle. The earliest known fragment of European wallpaper that still exists today was found on the beams of the Larch of Christ College in Cambridge, England, and dates from 1509. It is an Italian-inspired woodcut pomegranate design printed on the back of a proclamation by Henry VIII. The paper is attributed to Hugo van der Goes, one of the most significant original Flemish painters of the late 15th century. In the 16th century, wallpaper was imported to Europe from China. Around 1620, a method of imitating cut velvet was introduced in Europe. Papers this way became known as flocks. This was done by shaking silk or wood pile on a design that had been glued or varnished. The oldest existing example of flock wallpaper comes from Worcester and was created in approximately 1680. The French had a profound impact on wallpaper, and the process is used today. A guild of painters and paper hangers known as domaine auteurs were set up in France in 1599. The first papers they produced were imitation marble designs. The same method used then is still similarly used today. In 1620, the domaine auteurs introduced the process of printing the designs onto blocks of wood. The blocks of wood were painted and pressed onto the paper. In 1675, a Frenchman and engraver named Jean-Michel Papillon utilized block printing to create the first repeatable designs that matched on both sides.
It not only repeated, but also was continuous from one sheet to the next. Papillion is known as the inventor of wallpaper as it is known today. The 17th century and early 18th century was also very influential for wallpaper industry. The first printed wall coverings were made in England, individual sheets decorated with woodcut patterns and printed in black ink on pale paper. This is similar to the way a printing press printed pages in a book. As the printing and publishing industries grew, wallpaper followed. Early wall coverings were modeled after textiles that were pinned on a wall rather than glued and were called paper hangings. In this slide are two late 17th century block printed wallpapers in this fashion. Another example of 17th century block printed wallpaper with an Irish stitch pattern. A 1778 decree by Louis XVI required rolls of wallpaper to be 10 meters long, which is approximately 34 feet. In 1785, Christopher Philippe Aubercamp from France invented the first machine for printing wallpaper. The manufacturing methods developed by the English are significant, and the products from the 18th century London workshop became all the rage. At first, fashion-conscious Londoners ordered expensive hand-painted papers that were imitated architectural details or materials like marble and stucco, but eventually wallpapers won favor on their own merits. Borders resembling a tassel braid or swagger fabric, which commonly referred to as trompe-l'oeil, were often added, and flock papers that looked like cut velvet were immensely popular. Through the years, the wallpaper industry advanced, and in the early 1800s, full wall murals or scenics were introduced. In 1839, Charles Harold Potter from England introduced a machine that printed in 4 colors with the design cut on rollers instead of blocks. This machine could produce 400 rolls per day. 8-color printing was introduced in the 1850s, and 20-color printing was introduced in 1874. The Victorian era was a classic period for the development of wall coverings. During this time, rooms paraded print upon print, mostly in garish colors, and the advent of machine-made wallpaper put the cabbage rose and arabesque designs within the budget range of practically every home. Artisans such as Louis Comfort Tiffany and William Morris and their lyrical interpretations of nature, hand-printed by woodblock method, came to symbolize Art Nouveau. The 20th century revolutionized the wallpaper industry. The wallpaper pasting machine aided in the making of the installation process faster. In 1920, the invention of the mechanical silkscreen machine allowed for the production of more varieties of wallpaper. This helped pave the way for wallpaper to flourish in the Victorian era. Artists used wallpaper as a palette for their colorful and flamboyant designs, as you see in this 1920s article in Life magazine. The Victorian era's love of wallpaper led the wallpaper obsession in the 1920s, and in the 1920s, the hundreds of millions of wallpaper rolls were sold, and this period was given the moniker the golden age of wallpaper. Even with the variety of colors and designs, wallpaper was not durable at this time. It was easily damaged by water, torn, or scraped. To transform wallpaper from delicate to durable, plastic resins were introduced to the industry after World War II. This addition was the beginning of the evolution from wallpaper to wall covering. Plastic resins gave wallpaper stain resistance, made it more durable and stronger. Today, these plastic PVC resins are used to produce vinyl wall covering. Here is a vintage wall covering from the early 1950s. Is that me? It can't be. Frank Lloyd Wright is recognized worldwide as one of the greatest architects of the 20th century. His work heralded a new thinking in architecture, using innovation in design and engineering. His creative ability extended far beyond architecture to graphic design, furniture, glass, textiles, and wall coverings. This was taken 15 years before I met Maya. as he was just beginning to translate his patterns from fashion into tools for interior designers. If I had met him then, I would have run the other way. Maya Romanoff introduced his first wall coverings in the 1970s. He had transitions from his studies in fabric and dye and his experience in fashion and fine art. I'm sure most of you have experienced tie-dyeing with beautiful results. The challenge comes from an attempt to duplicate the results and to create a controlled environment that will produce a clearly handmade but intentional and repeatable side match pattern. Recoiling from the free form of the 1960s and 70s, Laura Ashley's sweet proper patterns became the height of fashion. The Manhattan scene was full of Laura Ashley dresses. I tried to get into it, but it never was quite me. Wall covering is now as popular as ever for those who are reminded of the colorful past of the Chinese, the hand-painted murals of the old English churches and castles, and the robust colors of the Victorian era. The new technological advances of wall covering are appearing in residential and commercial markets, as seen in this hotel installation of a dimensional screen print designed by the late Bob Bilge. Today's wall coverings used to add multi-dimensional color and textures to the walls to create a beautiful and sophisticated environment. In 1974, the National Guild of Professional Paper Hangers was established in the United States. Today, it is known as the Wall Covering Installers Association, an organization of wall covering installers dedicated to superior craftsmanship in the hanging of every type of wall covering. The faux finishes of the 1980s, along with peel and stick of grandma's flowery patterns, left a powerful impression in the people's minds, and designers rebelled. The stark minimalism that dominated the interior design of the 1990s highlighted the absence of decoration. Walls and doors were white, windows were bare, and furnishings were sparse. While the introduction of minimalism was a breath of fresh air for many designers, in the wrong hands, the absence of decoration began to feel like the absence of design. The biggest change from the 90s to the aughts was the move from minimalism to the use of richer, deeper, and more interesting colors and textures. Since that shift, interior design styles have grown more individual and less prescriptive. In the early 2000s, saw the rise of the homemaker show, which placed heavy emphasis on the importance of individualizing a home and making it distinctly your own. Recent advances in digital, photo, and printing technologies have allowed modern printing facilities to replicate historic papers and other digital media on a variety of substrates, as well as push the creative limits for what is possible, as seen on this digitally printed woven wool wall covering, a collaboration between David Rockwell and Maya Romanoff. The 21st century has seen a reimagination of many previous design movements and solidified wall coverings' place in high-end design. In this slide, you see Timorous Beasley's colorful toile. Here we see Bookshelf, a contemporary trompe l'oeil. It's a great example of how wall covering can transform a space with tongue-in-cheek humor. Well-executed wall and ceiling decoration can add a level of visual richness and unique character to a space. All of the Evans and Brown's murals are designed by Mark Evans and the late Charlie Brown and executed with a small staff of assistants. This skull wall covering is made with contemporary velvet flocking, an example of fashion's influence on interior design, with its nod to Alexander McQueen. Pedal Pusher is a pattern by popular Los Angeles designer and blogger Joy D. Cho and is screen printed in Chicago. This unusual collection by Flavor Paper was made to be scratch and sniff, Andy Warhol's aesthetic with a Willy Wonka twist. Timorous Beasley works with contemporary imagery depicted in classic patterns and toiles. On their website, they describe themselves as William Morris on acid. Flowers of Love is decked out with organic swirling shapes and reads as a psychedelic version of traditional deco. Tracy Kendall's jigsaw pushes the envelope by adapting the design. Every puzzle piece is carefully placed to fit the space in which it is installed. In the White Room, walls are layered with paper pieces with finely stitched lines, creating a conceptual and sculptural response to Frank Lloyd Wright's architectural wall coverings. Nearly 20 years ago, Maya Romanoff was challenged by a client to create a flexible glass beaded wall covering, and we jumped at the chance, and that collaboration resulted in a revolutionary new surfacing material. Bedazzled is created with a dense hand inlay of genuine glass beads, durability built up with layers of adhesive, while painstaking preserving the luminosity of the glass. I always say that Bedazzled is the wall covering that launched 1,000 imitations. One of the most recent trends, and one that's been very good for the wallpaper business, is the desire for luxury finishes in both residential and hospitality markets. One of Maya's biggest supporters, the late Albert Hadley, once said that the ideal wall covering doesn't take over the room, it makes all the decoration come together. In this photo, we see Capice shell wall covering, another Maya Romanoff innovation that, while stunning, does not detract from the design of the room, but it makes it even more luxurious. Even a simple lacquered paper can represent luxury when it resembles a fine faux finish or leather. The late Anya Larkin forged a path in the creation of unique, metallic, hand-painted wall coverings. Her vision helped transform the market. In the early 21st century, wallpaper evolved into a lighting feature, enhancing the mood and the ambiance through lights and crystals. Maystyle, a London-based company, invented LED incorporated wallpaper. The development of digital printing allows the designs to break the mold and the combined new technology and art to bring wallpaper to a new level of luxury. Digital murals are a natural byproduct of our technological age. These hand-embellished prints create a nearly unlimited amount of options for the designer to create custom installation pieces or original frame artwork. Today's wall covering techniques include hand inlay and hand printing, stenciling, gravure printing, silkscreen printing, rotary printing, flocking, and digital printing. Wall coverings are available in all shapes and sizes, from 21-inch wide to 60-inch wide rolls, and even come as tiles or panels. Curated spaces are artfully created environments that reflect the individual in residential settings and lend an air of authenticity to public spaces or hospitality environments. This example by Amy Lau was a breathtaking installation of hand-cut and elaborately installed origami wall coverings at the Kips Bay Show House, a collaboration with Maya Romanoff. Elizabeth Dow's cutting-edge and intuitive color sense inspired both my natural landscape and the urban environment, translates into a sophisticated aesthetic. Neither a traditionalist nor a modernist, Dow has been able to forge a bridge that complements both styles. With her home and studio based in East Hampton, New York, Dow hosts an impressive portfolio of upscale wall coverings. Her work adorns the private residence of clients such as Bill Gates, Michael Bloomberg, Steven Spielberg, and many more. Her wall coverings can also be found gracing the walls of the White House, incorporated into the designs of Michael Smith. Elizabeth Dow shares her studio space with the School for the Applied Arts to further continue the handmade tradition. For over 150 years, hand placing metal leaf on paper backing has been a traditional method of created wall coverings in Japan, originally used for soji screens. The same technique is used today, with the addition of protective top coat that prevents oxidation and discoloration. Here you see a variation of traditional method with the application of metal leaf on canvas. This creates a versatile, multi-use product that is both flexible and durable. The finished product, gold leafing on raw canvas. Hand-painted wall coverings allow for a high level of attention to detail and custom color matching capabilities. Several layers of colors are applied in teams. One person administers pigment and the other smooths and refines, providing for more efficiency and greater surface consistency. Renowned architect Andrei Kukowski found his inspiration in the beauty of natural jute, transforming rough burlap into a luxury surfacing material. The result is shimmering burlap, an unexpected juxtaposition of coarse jute and reflective silica mica. Multiple layers of mica are flocked onto hand-painted burlap, creating a textural light of play of fibers and minerals. Inside the Fromentel studio, some of the world's most beautiful chinoiserie wall coverings are painted. Fromentel employs traditional crafting methods of hand painting and hand embroidery paired with innovative materials. This chinoiserie creates a striking harmony with contemporary interior design objects. A new take on a very old technique, die cutting, has evolved from the traditional woven method of creating surfaces from wood veneer. This inlay is created with die cut, micro-thin layers of wood, which is hand inlaid onto a durable paper backing. You can see the visual impact of the finished product shown here in the chevron pattern in the Kardashian home designed by Jeff Andrews. Some glass beaded wall coverings are machine made, but the original glass beaded surfacing material is made using special adhesives and the magic of human hands. Not only is the resulting product stronger, the quality is tenfold. Here you see bedazzled leaf installed in the Tiffany Suite at the St. Regis Hotel in New York. Glass beads mixed with metal leaf. Here is another example of artisans in Nepal. They are working on copper wall tiles, which are cut by hand and then inlaid onto a paper backing. Product is aged using a blowtorch and preserved with beeswax paraffin. These finishing techniques have been used for hundreds of years and still offer perfect protection. Here, the product is installed on the ceiling in an amazing dining room designed by Chicago's Caraman. Believe it or not, this is a young family's home in the suburbs of Chicago. The weavers that make this hand-woven hemp wall covering are originally from India. In recent years, most of the looms in India went electric, and these old-style weavers lost their work. They carried their wooden looms over the Himalayas into Nepal, and they are now able to continue their craft. We give back to the community by bringing their heritage craft into the global market. In this tie-dyeing technique, bundles of paper are hand-folded to create a naturally expressive but repeatable pattern. Visual impact of this technique, while contemporary, is firmly rooted in our cultural history. Now, some examples of how handcrafted wall coverings are used in some residential, hospitality, corporate, and retail environments. They create elegance, atmosphere, and sometimes, as in this watercolor-influenced wall covering by Black Crow Studios, push the boundaries of design. I love this residential installation because it shows how a wood veneer wall covering can convincingly take the place of solid wood millwork. A playful children's wall covering screen printed with a shadow puppet motif, aptly named Handmade by Paperboy. Box Interiors uses capiche shells to create a defined bar area in John George's restaurant in the Shangri-La Hotel in Vancouver. The use of molding gives Maya Romanoff's Mother of Pearl a structured architectural feel. And here the warm glow of Mother of Pearl tiles greets guests checking into the Four Seasons Hotel in St. Louis. This elegant wall coverings create a visual touchstone that immediately communicates to the guests that they're in a luxury environment. A Kuwait office space uses a juxtaposition of mother of pearl and embossed vinyl to add a visual richness. A playful combination of wall coverings and pop art at the Facebook headquarters in Palo Alto, California. Here you see hand-carved foam wall covering and display pieces in a pop-up shop by Snarkitecture in New York. This shows custom glass beaded murals made for the Neiman Marcus flagship store in Dallas. Black and white photos were taken from Neiman Marcus advertising archives and then bedazzled for their 100th anniversary event. An installation of mother of pearls at a restaurant bar top in Providence, Rhode Island. A simple console is made into a high design object with the addition of mother of pearl detailing. What does the modern trend toward handmade wall coverings say about us? Artisanal wall coverings evoke an air of authenticity, quality, and valuing of the individual. Selecting them validates artistry, craft, and reflects a desire to be connected to the objects in one's environment. Even though designs are made over and over again, each roll is literally one of a kind. You can feel the soulfulness of the human hand. The intertwining of the lotus flowers on the Maya Romanoff original logo represents our connectiveness. Maya to the artisans, to the mills, to you, the designers who constantly morph the wall coverings by the way you use them. Ultimately, it's the connectiveness to the materials itself. While wall coverings have long been popular and practical design solutions, in recent years, sustainability has become to play an important role. We must protect the world that we live in. Many products are available today are manufactured with environmentally friendly principles. This includes such examples as low volatile organic compound, VOC, products like adhesive and recycled materials. Some products are now 100% vinyl-free, such as Natural Elements by Maya Romanoff. Groundbreaking in every way, paper is the new vinyl. This printed and embossed paper exceeds Type 2 vinyl durability, is sustainable and indistinguishable from the actual concrete, wood, and stone finishes. Indeed, in addition to their obvious decorative functions, wall coverings can contribute to better indoor air quality, controlled acoustics, durability, and when selected with sustainability in mind, can be a means to garner more LEED points. As the wall covering industry continues to develop products that are greener than ever, industrial designers now have access to cutting-edge options that rival traditional ones in aesthetics and far surpass them in eco-friendliness. Examples of eco-friendly options include thin sheets of cork shavings, varying depth of wood veneer made from reclaimed and Forest Stewardship Council, FSC certified resources, and perhaps the greenest of all, revolutionary living wall system. Hydroponic plants grow on customized screen structures attached to the wall. The balance of the designer and the craftsperson, the balance of the hand and the machine, and the balance of the sustainability of products. The concept of working together to create something is reflected in the beauty of the materials and the environments we achieve. As we isolate in our homes, we become increasingly aware of how interior spaces affect our mood, our ability to work, our physical comfort, and our personal safety concern. The current crisis will impact how we design spaces in the future. We'll combine our virtual and physical environments. Video conferencing is making more people aware of how they are perceived. Muffled or reverberating sounds, harsh or inadequate light will be considerations as we inhabit virtual spaces. Public interior spaces will include comfortable social barriers without being distracting, obvious or non-approachable. Space planning, circulation, and programming will include physical distance measures. Amenity spaces in condominiums or apartment buildings will be designed to allow groups to separate from one another. The influence of mental and physical health in interior design will become more prevalent than ever. Designers will need to consider how we can address mental health through interior environments using color, lighting, material, sound, and acoustics. Residences will no longer have a home office, but an office at home.
The challenge, how can we create a beautiful, functional office at home? It's designed and set up to accommodate full-time satellite workplaces. Our industry has come a long way since the early days of papyrus. From rudimentary block printing to modern-day digital printing, wall covering has evolved from a mere decoration to playing an integral role in the creation of inspiring and purposeful environments. Good design has always been and will continue to be at the foundation of what we do. My husband Maya's founding vision has never wavered. He believed that the combination of ancient artistic techniques and the latest production technology could have tremendous impact on contemporary design, and he could not have been more right. With that, I thank you sincerely for listening in today, and I also thank you on behalf of 2 generations of the Romanoff family.
Hi, David, are you speaking to the wonderful audience?
I guess, can you hear me, everybody?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, great. Okay.
Great. So this is my son-in-law, David Berkowitz, and he is in our studio, our handcraft studio right here behind me in Skokie. So he is, David is VP of manufacturing, new products, and everything that goes into making any kind of products for this company. He's only been with us like about 18 years, so he's still an apprentice, but we're all still learning. Anyway,
all
he's
the
going to
time.
show you how we make wall covering. And what products are you making now, David?
Well, we're going to be showing today, part of our bedazzled line or collection, bedazzled leaf, which is amazing. That'll be the first one. And then the next one we're going to look at is our Gero, which is our wood veneer. And we're going to look at chevron. So I'm excited to show you the demos. And more importantly than looking at me, we're going to look at the product. So I'm going to turn my camera around in just a second. I want to introduce you to Beau Pa. So hello, everybody. And hold on a second. Let me flip this around. Here's Beau Pa. Beau Pa Lee is our studio creative director. And Beau has been with us for just a mere 35 years. Oh, you get a little closer. You can.
Yeah, only 35.
Yeah. And Beau worked very closely with Maya back in the day in working and developing products. And to this day, Beau Pa is still very instrumental in developing a lot of the handcraft that comes out of our studio. Beau Pa's role is to work with product development and then also to train our production team on making products. So from start to finish, Beau Pa is very much part of what's going on with our products. So this product that we're going to show you is Bedazzled Leaf. Bedazzled Leaf, again, is one of the bedazzled collections that we have. And I'm just going to quickly show you. The original product is Bedazzled. And then here's some of the colorways that it comes in. Then we have, oh, I'm going to skip over here. We have Bedazzled Geode and Bedazzled Sparkle Geode. The difference being when we get to the Geode, we have multiple size beads. You can see some of the different sizes going on there. And then with the Sparkle, it's got that added touch of glitter to it. Then we have Bedazzled Bauble, which these are the really big size beads. I'm just putting my finger in here so you can kind of see how big they are. And then Bedazzled Leaf, which is what we're going to demonstrate today, which is beautiful. And it's actually hanging on the wall over here. So let me just scooch around so you can see it. It's the one in the middle. Also hanging on the wall is Bedazzled Geode Sparkle. And then we do custom murals as well. And that's over here on the right. There we go. Try and get in a little closer. There we go. Okay. All right. So Beau Pa. Pa's going to show us how it's done. So like at any cooking show, we've sort of already started making the product. So what Pa is doing is she's applying leaf by hand on a surface that already has the glue or the adhesive on it. And Pa is following a template. It's largely in her head, but you can see these marks that are on the table. And she's actually going to be able to create panels that are repeatable from one panel to the next. Don't try any of this at home. Okay. So the first step is putting down the leaf. And here, I just want to show you how thin and kind of fragile or delicate the leaf is. It looks like
air.
Foil, right? But it's like air. Like it'll just break apart in your hands, which is essentially what's happening when it's put down on the surface with the glue.
What David was saying about a cooking show is that we're like any wonderful chef. We'll give you the recipe, but we'll leave out a few ingredients. So just, you know, that's only fair.
Right. We got to keep you coming back for more.
Right.
That's what we do. That's right.
But this is a beautiful product, and it goes to different kinds of craftsmanship we have acquired over our almost 50 years or over 50 years in business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the secret to our craftsmanship is our ability to not only find something and make something beautiful, but to make it repeatable. And that was one of the things that Maya instilled in us and all of us over the years. You know, I like to say, especially with a lot of our products, that it's like a snowstorm where all these individual snowflakes are all a little bit different, but when they come together, it's really quite beautiful. And all of our panels will flow from one to another. All right, so Pa is almost done with applying the leaf, and then you'll see she's going to grab a brush for the next part, and she'll brush away the excess leaf and sort of mat down. Right now, it's kind of cool looking because it's so dimensional. That'll all get matted down in a second. Okay, let me get out of Pa's way before she knocks me over. Okay. Okay. Here's the brush. So we're showing the gold metal leaf, but we can also do this in silver and copper. Also, we can alternate the pattern, change it up. It's easy to customize, like a lot of our products. You have to wear all this jewelry too. It's really important part of the process.
And Pa usually wears high heels. I'm very disappointed that she doesn't have them on today. I envy that. I do want to apologize for the little hiccup at the beginning of our CEU. We had some technical difficulties. Thank you so much for your patience, and I do hope you enjoyed the material we presented. Now she's doing the glass bead bath.
Yes, the bead bath. Here we go. This is where I get to help out a little bit. So we put the product now into this trough, which is full of glass beads. And for the bedazzled leaf, we use our smallest bead, which is like 1 millimeter in size. You can just see how small they are. So she's gonna, by hand, flock down all these beads. Something I want to mention about the beads. You can see it sort of has a bluish gray cast to it. We're very particular about our beads that we use here. As you can imagine, if the bead color changes, that can affect the color of the product. And we are very careful because if the beads have too much or too less oxygen and it changes the color of the beads, they can go from a greenish cast, almost like if you think like a Coca-Cola bottle, to a bluish or even grayish cast. So we're very particular. And actually, the interesting thing with beads is before we developed Bedazzled, there really was not an industry for aesthetics with glass beads. Glass beads were used for road signs. Like 3M is a big buyer of beads. They use it for making the tape that they use on those green highway signs that tell you you're supposed to stay at a certain speed. Also, glass beads were used for grinding paint pigments. Those were the primary uses. So we really became a big player in glass beads and changed the use of it. Okay, Beaupas is about to unroll the almost finished product of Bedazzled Leaf. So the next step, you can look how beautiful that is. So I'm talking about you, Beau. Okay, no, it really looks great. But the final step now is this is going to go into our spray booth where we have a proprietary coating that we developed that we apply. And that coating, it dries clear, it maintains the flexibility, it's non-yellowing, and most importantly, it has a fire retardant component built into it that makes our product Class A. So that would be the final approach.
And it also, if I may add, it also preserves the metal, the gold leafing with that finish, so it won't tarnish.
Absolutely, good point. And that is Bedazzled. So we're gonna walk around here because.
What are we doing next?
Next, okay, I gotta go spin the wheel. No, the next product is going to be a Giro chevron. So let me turn the camera around. I'm walking here. And there's
This is one of our best-selling designs for a Giro right now is the chevron.
Mm-hmm. So our team is about to stain a 12-yard piece. I'm just walking around here. So this is Hang and Lin. And one thing I want to mention is a lot of the things that we do, we'll do in teams. We'll do in teams of 2. All of our processes are very well choreographed and timed. And let me just get in a little closer. You can see how he's applying the stain sort of in the direction of the chevron. It'd be easier if I come around. So
And he's
again,
applying it very liberally, so it gets into the grooves of the wood veneer.
Mm-hmm.
We like to, when we do our finishing of these woods, by the end of it, it looks like it's always been there. It doesn't look like it was painted on. It looks like it's part of the integral part of the wood. And that's what's so extraordinary.
Right, exactly. And so now Lynn is going to go ahead now and he's going to, with a sponge, he's going to wipe down the stain.
You want to get an even coat, and that's why we apply it generously, and then we use our sponges to make sure it's even.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get around this cart for a second. Our wood veneer, I want to just mention when it's back, it's this very flexible wood on paper. The wood itself is like 0.2 mil thick. If it wasn't back to paper, you would see right through it. It's almost like tissue. So the backing actually gives it its color. And when we get the wood from the lumber yard, it actually comes in what looks like a roll of paper towel because it's about 10 inches wide and it's about 10 feet long on the roll. So we'll unroll it on a table and cut them down to sheets and then put them onto a press where we can die cut out the shapes that we want. And then all those shapes are hand inlaid onto the substrate.
Look at the dimension. We get such gorgeous dimension the way it's laid.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And again,
gorgeous.
it's such a little amount goes such a long way. Another thing Maya always used to say is to take as little as we need to create what we do, to walk gently on this earth. And that's really what's behind this product is we use such little of this resource, a renewable resource, by the way. And while they're standing, I want to walk around.
And you're getting
here.
such a big look. So
Yeah.
this, because of the thinness of the product, you can wrap columns. You can do a lot of the architectural designs you want, covering
Mhm.
millwork and things like that. So it's really a fun and beautiful and authentic product to use in your design.
Yes. And it's available in 10 different patterns, 15 different colorways. Here are some of the patterns. We have a Gero Sunburst. Oh, Sunburst, by the way, comes in 2 different sizes, a 15-inch square and an 18-inch square. A Gero Plank. The lighting's a little weird, so I'm going to try and hold these up.
Looks good.
Yeah, and the cool thing with Plank is you can install it vertically, horizontally, or we've even done it on a diagonal, and it's really cool. One of the newer patterns is Houndstooth. Fanfare. And by the way, all of these patterns that I'm showing you are available in the 15 colorways. So you can pick your pattern, pick your colorway. Here's
Yeah, so
Vineyard.
it's not custom. That's, which is good.
Well, call it semi-custom, right?
Okay.
We make it the way you want it. Here's coffers. Coffers also available in 2 sizes. There's the original scale and then the grand scale coffers right here. Ooh, I'm covering up Delphine. I don't need to be doing that. There we go.
That's a granddaughter
Yeah, that's
and half
Michael's
a dog.
daughter. Yeah, just a tush. Okay, and then the last one, which they're painting right now, is Chevron, which is also available in 2 sizes. The original scale here, which is 6 inches wide, and then the grand scale, which is like super wide. I don't have any of that hanging here. Oh, here. But here's the card for it. Let's see how wide. Okay. Oh, so let's go back to our painters. And now you can see as the stain is soaking in and starting to dry, you can really see the beauty of the grain coming through.
What's in the mixture of the
So
paint color, of the stain?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so we of course, we start with the color, and then we'll add in a polyurethane, which adds not only the sheen to it, but adds a level of durability when the product is installed. So this product, along with many of our products, work great in high humidity environments. The key thing with high humidity environments is prep. We outline it in all of our installation guidelines. By the way, we have installation guidelines that are much like IKEA. There's a lot of graphics, few words, and it's all about making sure that the installers have what they need and know what to do.
And it should come, excuse me, it should come in every roll of every box of wall covering you get from us. But also we have a new drop box, the Maya Romanoff drop box. And there's installation instructions, everything you can possibly want to know about our products. And we're really excited about it. And people are using it, for specifications and information. And of course, Tom Hunter and his staff are always there to assist you, and our customer service team as well. So we like to provide you with as much information so there are no surprises.
Right.
And beautiful installs.
Right. We just like beautiful installations. And then once they're done painting, the product is going to go onto these festoon racks. Festoon racks are drying racks over here. And the rolls just go up and they festoon, and we just keep putting them onto the racks, pushing back. And by the end of a day or end of an order, the rack will be filled with the product that they're making. It'll dry overnight. And after that, then it's going to go over to our inspection area. Our inspector is going to look at them. And this is another key Maya Romanoff difference is we inspect every yard of the product that we make here. And we're grading those panels. We're marking those panels in sequential order so the installers know from left to right, they can install them 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. We always encourage that even when the product is graded, still that the installers look at it in their environment, because we can't necessarily account for windows and doors and headers and such. So every environment is special. But we try and make it as easy as possible in that respect. Okay.
Well, thank
Joyce,
you.
anything else you missing?
It's gorgeous.
Awesome.
If you have any questions, please, use your chat button and we'll be glad to answer it.
Yep. Okay.
Thanks,
Okay,
David.
here
I gotta ask, what
I am. My
kind of
pleasure.
installation skill is required for the Giro products? And it just responded that it is all paper-backed product. It can be installed by a regular paper and wallpaper installer, and that all of
Right.
the instructions are included. We can always give them to them ahead of time so that, like you said, there are no surprises and this beautiful wallpaper doesn't get damaged before it actually goes up on the wall.
Exactly.
And someone
Exactly.
just had a question about the cleanability, and I'd like to address it.
Mhm.
As you noticed, when we put down the stain, there is an after finish mixed in with it. So this will make it resistant to most stains and anything that gets on it. All you need to do is wipe it with a damp towel and it'll come right off, and then dry it. So
Yeah.
it's pretty durable.
And I also want to mention that we recently, in light of
Oh, the
everything
bleach.
going on, these days,
Right.
bleach and disinfecting. Do you want to talk about it, Joyce? Go ahead.
No, I like when you do it. I was
Okay.
very impressed.
Well, yeah. So we recently did a testing on all of our products to see how they would perform if we were to use disinfecting wipes or even bleach, diluted bleach solution on them for cleanability, sanitization, and much to our pleasure, we are extremely happy that everything, nearly all of our products perform really well. We've created a guide. I'm going to just flip this around for a second so you can see. Care, cleaning, and disinfecting. And here's the guide right here. And then it talks about general care and cleaning, and then how to disinfect or sanitize our products step by step.
That's
And then
great.
on the back, we have this great chart here. And this shows every product and how it performed with the disinfecting wipes and the bleach with water. And you can see there's a lot of green check marks on this list. So we feel really good about
That's great.
recommending our products today. Mhm. Okay.
Yes, for any environment.
Yeah.
And someone asked about price point, and I think that I'll get a hold of Tom and he'll be happy to give you the price point, stock status, and all the information about this product. It is all our products, but we are very, very much concerned about the COVID outbreak. And we have done, like my son-in-law David has done, everything to make sure our products work in every environment and to keep everyone safe and healthy. We're all in this, and we're hopefully that'll be over soon. But right now we have to hunker down and take care of ourselves and each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
If anyone has any more questions, now is your time. I can actually read it from where I'm sitting. And I hope you enjoyed our presentation. I hope you feel more comfortable and can't wait for your next project. Please send us any installation photos of your projects. We'd love to put it on our website. And thank you all.
Definitely.
Go ahead. And Tom, thank
Yeah.
you
Of course.
for
Thank you.
sharing your audience with us. We enjoyed it. And I apologize for the malfunction, but we're learning as we go. And thank you for for all of us to support my company and Tom's company and all our companies in the design industry. Now is the time.
Thank you, Joyce, so much for being here, and David, you as well. I think that wraps up our presentation for today.
Great.
Unless anybody has anything else that they want to write into us real quick. One more time, I just wanted to remind everybody to follow design.salvation on Instagram.
Right.
To kind of follow along with everything that's going on through our design week. And if you would like to receive a little package from Maya Romanoff, shoot us your email address. You can shoot it into the chat, or I think Sarah is going to be collecting email addresses and ship to addresses, and she's going to get something out for you guys. So
Yes. Well, thank you. And I look forward to meeting all of you individually one day, or in person, or anywhere, and get back to Seattle, one of my favorite cities in the whole world.
we can't
Thank
wait
you,
for you to
everybody.
come back.
Be safe, be healthy.
Great. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good